Aside from these characteristics and the game taking place at Treasure Island, which wasn't even the focus of the original creepypasta, no other details really would be recycled from the root story. About a month passes, and at the tail end of November on the 30th, he posts another teaser with the words "coming soon." And when he said soon, he meant soon, because 2 days later, he'd released the first demo for Five Nights at Treasure Island on December 1st. A few days after that, he updated the demo to include 2 nights, a more aggressive main antagonist, and some minor bug fixes. What happened next, he couldn't have possibly expected though, because this is when the game fell into the hands of large YouTubers such as Markiplier.
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier, and welcome to Five Nights at Treasure Island, the first, or at least first that I know of, fan game of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Hey buddy, it's Greg here.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, then you've probably heard of the pseudo-negative Mickey costume that wanders around.
No. Oh, wouldn't want to screw up Greg's equipment now, would we? Oh, this lovely place where dreams come true. I kind of wanted to talk to him. What the fuck?
Being that FNAF was currently in the process of exploding following the first game's release and newly released second game, fans were desperate for any possible content that they could get, and this was it. The game's gameplay was pretty basic. You played as Jake, an intern for the Supernatural Studies Association, or SSA. You get a phone call from Greg who tells you about the suit and that it can only hear and not see. By turning off the cameras, you'd play a noise lure in another room that would distract it and make it leave, and the rest was standard for FNAF games. On the second night, you'd get a call from Lisa, who would clarify that photonegative Mickey can see, just not very well. However, this doesn't really impact the gameplay at all, so it's fine. She also tells you about an unfinished Oswald suit, Oswald being a character Disney made before Mickey, who ultimately ended up taking a back seat to him. There's also a Donald Duck head that occasionally sits on your desk and just makes a really obnoxious loud noise.
Go away!
The game's popularity would soar. As proof of that today, Markiplier's video from 8 years ago sits at over 9.1 million views, with his part 2 at 4.3 million. Can you even visualize that number? That's crazy. That's like higher than the total population of a lot of countries. Unfortunately, this wasn't as cut and dry as it might seem for Matthew. He was actually pretty unsatisfied with the state of the game. He didn't expect it to get so popular so quickly, and he said that he couldn't keep up with the work and would need more time to complete/polish it. About a month and a half later, on January 11th, Matthew would release a short teaser game in the meantime, in the form of The Button Machine Holds Codes. By pressing buttons to input the codes, you could receive some teasers, behind-the-scenes looks, and other similar things. That's basically all this has to offer. And 2 weeks later, on January 26th, he'd release the remastered demo, or version 1.0. Unfortunately, this version of the game was actually quite unstable, which may be because it was completely rebuilt from scratch. And on February 1st, Matthew would release another teaser game called This Gives Some Extra Enlightenment, or TGS-EE. It is very similar to the previous teaser game, as upon performing the required puzzle-like actions, you'd be treated to a bunch of 3D renders. Fast forwarding a few months, a trailer for the game would be released on Purity Center's channel on April 1st. And on June 23rd, versions 2.0 and 3.0 were both released, for reasons I'll get into in a moment. Version 2.0 was a pretty big step up from 1.0 for Matthew, as all the cameras and locations were remade. A new camera for the roof was added, and a power mechanic was also added. With 3.0, the development starts getting a little complicated. According to Matthew, Purity Sinners kept adding to the storyline until she had made a story which was completely different from what he had originally envisioned for the game. So he lost interest in the game and just gave all of the assets to her and her team. The ownership of the series was transferred over to her as well, and photo negative Mickey was replaced by Willie, the new main antagonist, in version 3.0. A lot of other plans were put in place around this time, many of which wouldn't really go anywhere.